Walking at the moment to the grocery store, or at least that's what I'm trying to do. It's always rather unpleasant when I have to do this once or twice a week, depending on how lackadaisical I've been in terms of scheduling deliveries to the house, which is astronomically more preferential to my sensibilities, which is, kind of an agoraphobic, avoidant misanthrope of sorts, right? So, with such in mind, you might very well imagine how I might feel when I have to actually be in the company of others. And that in tandem with how I just generally feel the rest of the time, at least at the moment anyhow, which is pretty miserable. And I'm just in this state that I can get into when the sort of mood problems, just general disdain, contempt for existence, and physical concerns all marry up together and just create this situation where I'm sort of just very overstimulated, overwhelmed, sensorially, emotionally, physically, just everythingly. And in terms of, just being autistic as well, right? It just doesn't lend itself to being able to deal with these things in a very efficient manner. It's difficult to regulate and work oneself down from these heights of despair. Usually, oftentimes has historically culminated in what's referred to as a meltdown, right? Just emotional outbursts, a tantrum, right? But that's all very kind of derogatory, sort of dismissive language, I feel. It's sort of condescending, humiliating, right? Makes it seem as if it's a choice, right? It's something that can be circumvented by the appropriate application of willing oneself to not have a tantrum, to not have a meltdown, to not have a completely overstimulated nervous system, because that's what it is. And as I've been walking, just feeling incredibly hungry, that's what I meant by the physical concern, just because I can't be bothered to eat, just feel like a ruminant animal with the amount that I have to eat because of the amount of activity that I do. And couple that with depression, right, which dulls the appetite and just makes eating itself in general not only unpleasurable, but just seemingly entirely pointless. Which it is, right, logically speaking. Because all I'm doing is sort of just perpetuating my existence kind of against my better judgment, right? I'm a slave to my own biology, the same way that a natalist is a slave to their biology, same way that my parents were a slave to their biology, and kind of resulted in me being a slave to my own biology, right? Two people that just thoughtlessly, carelessly fucked two wholly incompatible people, resulting in, I guess for them, what they thought would be a cute little human pet, a project, a meaning-making project for themselves. But which ultimately was kind of a genetic aberration, an outcast of sorts, a nexus of misery, disappointment. But as I was saying, just I'm doing this walk, or trying to do this walk, which I kind of have to return to, because in order to successfully complete these things, it's all about momentum, and pausing like this, as I am for so long, is going to create a rather problematic rift in that momentum. But as I have been walking, I've just been, thinking in my head. I have this horrible depressive thought loops, which you'll know if you've experienced depression. It's just the same negative thoughts just recurring again and again and again and again. And one of them is just this thinking about that, those people, men, right, in China, there's young men in China, right, who've given up, basically. It's sort of like the equivalent of the hikikomori in Japan, and their sort of hashtag that they use, right, to sort of distinguish themselves, their motivations, right, what they're all about. That hashtag is lay down and rot. And for whatever reason, that's what I keep thinking, or one of the things that I keep thinking is in these recurring thought loops. And just looking around me like some teenage edgelord at all the people on the street, and thinking of them as maggots and trash and just meat. Useless fucking meat that's just in my way. But yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful and splendid day, and I hope these uplifting, motivating words have touched your spirit and given you the requisite strength to shine like the bright, beaming, glorious star that you are. Okay, goodbye.